G'day again, Novak. Good to see you again.
Great to see you. I like this annual meeting we have on a Sunday evening.
It's almost... They love you.
Yeah, amazing support tonight, really. So great to see people again, I mean, on the tennis courts. And yeah, I'm very grateful for the great support I got tonight. Sometimes they did step over the line, I must say, but I thought they were terrific. They carried me on to the victory. I mean, I cannot be more thankful and happier.
I think I asked you last year, Novak, does it ever get old? Clearly not. You said no then, and here you are doing it for a 9th time.
Well, I mean, I really mean what I said on the court. I really love that court. The love affair keeps going, and I don't know. It's just, I guess it's one of these things in life where the more you win, the more you feel, the more confident you feel, the more comfortable you feel when you step on the court. The fact that I never lost in semis or finals obviously played a significant role into approach of tonight's match. It's only his 2nd Grand Slam final. I mean, he was in such a tremendous form coming into this match, 20-win streak. I mean, he was really comfortable, looking comfortable, especially in his service games throughout the tournament. So I knew that one of the keys would be, you know, return like Leighton Hewitt, you know, try to give as many returns back in play. And that's what happened. You know, I managed to read his serve very well, kind of also made him play always an extra shot and gave him a little bit of his own medicine, you know, stayed with him in the backhands. He wears players down, you know, he's such a tough competitor from back of the court, doesn't give you much, but you know, I just put a lot of variety in the game and you know, served and volleyed maybe a couple of times, but didn't want to give him the same look. That was kind of a tactics.
While this match was a straight setter and you pulled away in the end, this tournament was a journey for you. It was not easy. You had a lot of difficult matches. You had the injury in the 3rd round. Can you just talk about what this trip here at this tournament has been like for you and maybe compared to some of your other tournaments that you've won here?
Well, I think emotionally it was one of the hardest tournaments that I've ever had, to be honest, you know, with, you know, quarantine and a lot of things happening in the media, and then the letter that I wrote as ideas and recommendations that I got from players was misinterpreted as my request and list of demands. Then the next thing you know, within a couple of days, I'm the persona non grata here in this country. So it was tough, you know, dealing with all of this and then getting injured as well in the 3rd round against Taylor. I mean, just it was a roller coaster ride, if I can define it in one word. But you know, I think it makes it even sweeter for me, and I'll take a lot of positives from this tournament without a doubt.
You obviously had the injury in the 3rd round. You didn't want to talk about it because you were in tournament. Can you talk about it now, or is it something you still want to keep to yourself?
I mean, I can. I mean, you know, I wanted to keep things quiet and clear for me. I mean, in terms of, you know, talking about injury or any other stuff, you know, just keeping it to the tennis, you know, once the tournament is done. I mean, it's a muscle tear. I mean, it was a muscle tear at that point. I mean, I don't think I've ever experienced that kind of a snap that I have in the 3rd round. And I went to an MRI, and, you know, MRI has shown a tear. You know, people question that. I understand that they question my injury. They question whether there is a tear. There is. I mean, I can leave the doctors and physios to confirm that, but I mean, for me, it was definitely a huge obstacle and a challenge. I haven't practiced the days between the matches. The good thing is that I actually had the day between every match, because that gave me more time to heal. So I spent probably out of, I don't know, 14 waking hours, I spent 10 hours on the table and doing everything I possibly can. And it worked. I mean, I owe a great gratitude to my physio for putting in a lot of hours and his knowledge and know-how. And I just, you know, I guess we're all different. You know, I have maybe a great ability to heal. I don't know. I just managed somehow with pills, with the painkillers and stuff. in the end of the day, it was a great experience for me, and I will definitely learn some great lessons.
Is this something that now you need to take time off to heal fully, or are you ready to go now? Is it healed up?
No, it's not healed up. I mean, I'm gonna go do another MRI, tomorrow before I travel back. But I'm definitely gonna take some time off. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but my all energy and focus was here in Australia. I was saying, if there is any tournament where I want to risk to make even more damage or try my very hardest to battle, it's here. It's Grand Slam. So, I cannot be happier to be next to this trophy. And well, let's see what tomorrow brings.
Well, you have 18. You have 18 Grand Slams now, mate. Obviously, Roger and Rafa at 20. I know you've looked at the record books all the time, and you're going to be the most #1 weeks, I think, in March as well. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
But is that your main focus now? Like, obviously, with the injury and then the French Open going to be the next major? I guess it's just really planning for that?
Well, I mean, to be honest, really, at this stage of my career, it's about majors. It's about the ranking, #1. Obviously, those are the two biggest goals. I managed to achieve this historic #1, and I mean, it seems unreal. I mean, but of course I'm very, very happy and proud of that. But it's not only my success. I always try to involve the people who have been with me. I mean, my parents at the beginning, of course, and my brothers and all the people that have been part of this journey. I owe the great credit and gratitude to them. Once that historic #1 is achieved, then, my focus will go mostly to the slams. That's where I want to shine. I know age is just a number. That's kind of a mindset, but but we have to also see things realistically. I'm not 22 anymore, so I'm going to have to deal with the schedule and the calendar in a different way, so I peak at the right moments at the slams.
Novak, late in the match, we saw you pointing to your head. We also saw you closing your eyes in between games as well. Are you mentally tougher now than you've ever been before?
I don't know. It's finals of a slam, and you're playing a guy who is in tremendous form, and it's not the first time that I'm closing my eyes and focusing on conscious breathing and trying to center myself. I mean, my heart rate was going, off the roof, for a lot of games in a row, and I just, it's a very short time. You don't have a possibility to get your towel from the ball kids, and people maybe don't notice that, but to get to a towel, go back, the time is, the shot clock is running down. It's all of these things. You sit down, you have actually 40 seconds rather than a minute in between of the, and changeovers. So, and then your thoughts, and then, what can happen, what ifs, all these questions and all these things happening in your mind, is just try to emotionally stay calm and present. And that's why I've done what I've done.
Your celebrations with your team, it's always a special moment. But what is it about, we talk about Roger and Wimbledon, Rafa and Roland Garros, Novak and Melbourne Park. What is it about Melbourne that sees you come here so often and come away with the Norman Brooks Challenge Cup?
Well, I don't have a straight answer for you. I've answered this question before. I mean, there is definitely a love affair, ongoing love affair. I love that court. The more I win, the better I feel. And it's as simple as that. Every next year that I come back to Rod Laver Arena, I just relive all these memories, and it brings the best out of me. And I think it gives me also a mental edge over my opponents, knowing that I've won so many times in this court. And it's probably not as Rafa in French Open, because he has lost maybe like 1 or 2 matches in his entire career there. But I'm going to try to get as close as to his love affair with the French Open court, yeah.
Well, speaking of love affair, the fans are right behind you right now.
Yeah.
And This tournament was a strange one, not just because of your injury, but because of what happened mid-tournament. We started 5 days with fans,
Yes.
and then you were in mid-match when the fans actually needed to leave for the lockdown, the 5-day lockdown. What was it like for you playing with the crowd and then the silence and then coming back to that? That's a bit of a roller coaster, I would think, too.
Well, I try to see positives in everything. You know, obviously, we ended up the tournament with more than 50% of stadium's capacity, which I think is great. Kudos to Tennis Australia, Craig Tiley for delivering, and they've done it. I mean, the amount of time that Craig spent on the conference calls, Zoom calls with players and trying to meet all the players' needs, demands, wishes. I mean, it has been a really tough tournament for him, for everyone involved. So I congratulate them. They've made it. They deserve a lot of credit. It was very strange to actually, I never experienced that before. We had crowd, and then I think was it after third or fourth set against Fritz, crowd, they had to empty the stadium. And I think that was good for me, to be honest. Yeah, because at that point I was dealing with a lot of things physically and mentally. And I think it allowed me to kind of center myself and finish that match and winning in the fifth setter. Do I like playing in front of the crowd? Of course, I would pick that any day. So I'm grateful to see the crowds, and I'm afraid that we won't experience crowd so much on the tennis courts in Europe, back in Europe or in States and tournaments. We don't know how long this is going to go for, but I'm just hoping for the sake of everyone that loves this sport that we're going to have a crowd very soon.
Novak, before we let you go, we asked Naomi what she was going to celebrate by doing, and she went to go and watch some anime last night. What are you doing?
What did she?
Watching some anime.
Anime,
Yeah.
okay.
What about you? What's on the schedule for tonight?
Just a house party, house party with my...
Are they not invited? Because they're pretty keen. I think there's some restrictions on that sort of thing.
I'm afraid if they're invited, I won't be flying out tomorrow night. So,
hey, Novak, they want you. And I reckon they want you to raise that trophy too.
Rakia is a traditional... I don't have rakia. Can anybody give me rakia? Rakia is this, like a schnapps, have you tried it?
Okay.
Yeah.
None on you?
I don't have it.
Right.
Maybe you have a little bit of wine, or maybe if rakia, if I find someone here, I'll send some for you guys.
You have a nice cup for it.
Yeah.
I reckon by the sounds that they might have some on them as well. Novak, congratulations.
Awesome.
We'll let you take your trophy to your fans. You're the
Thank you
Australian
so
Open
much.
champion for a ninth time.
Thank you very much.
Well done to you.
Great to speak to you guys. Thank you.
Novak Djokovic, ladies and gentlemen, your Australian Open champion. And don't they love him? All hail the king of Melbourne Park.